What up, s'mores? I'm Shannon Morse. Welcome to my YouTube channel all about travel and technology. I am so excited to share today's review with you of the new Dell XPS 13 2-in-1 edition TLDR. It's amazing, but stick around for the full in-depth review. I have plenty to say about this laptop. It is really nice. First, I did want to say thank you so much to my brand new Patreon supporters. If you're interested in supporting me, check out patreon.com/Shannon Morse. I'll put the link down in the show notes for you. That's where you can get access to a bunch of extra perks like high-res photography and a Google Hangout every month. But this week, I wanted to say thank you so much to David and Warren for joining the Patreon community. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you so much. I appreciate you. Also, if you are interested in supporting me with caffeine instead, buymeacoffee.com/snubs, that link's down below in the description as well, is where you can support me that way too. Thank you so much to my supporters. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. So now it is time for my tech review this week. This one is going to be hard to send back to Dell, I can tell you that much. But again, it's the Dell XPS 13 2-in-1. This is the 2019 edition of the laptop. Specifically, this is the 7390 model. The XPS 13 is one of my favorite lines of laptops. I have my own XPS 13, which is the developer edition that runs Ubuntu Linux on it, but this one features Windows 10. They have been known to have a really nice compact design, but that doesn't sacrifice any durability. They're really elegant and they're very, very travel friendly. So the models start at $999.99 thousand bucks for the 10th gen i3 version with 4 gigs of RAM, 256 gig NVMe storage, and they go all the way up to $2,649.99 for the i7 version with 32 gigs of RAM and a terabyte NVMe storage. The one that I am reviewing is the $1649.99 version, that model. It's currently on sale for $1440.59 while I am recording this video. However, that price may vary. This one comes with a 10th gen i7, 16 gigs of RAM, and 512 gig NVMe SSD. It also comes with the 1920 by 1200 Infinity Edge touch display in the white color option. However, there is a black color option as well, and you can also go all the way up to 4K. So let's go ahead and start with the design, the overall quality of the laptop. You will notice that there is a sequential hinge, which gives you a variable torque, which also means that you will get a nice easy open, and it also folds all the way back into a tablet mode. So cool. It's got a very sturdy, a very durable design. Whenever you open the laptop, the screen doesn't fluctuate anywhere. I also noticed that there is rubber on the bottom of these feet, so when you do fold it back, it doesn't scratch or anything like that. It's not going to cause any damage to your computer desk. When you fold it back, it does raise up the laptop a little bit with those back rubber feet, which does give you a nice ergonomic feel whenever you are typing at the keyboard. The chassis of this is a single block of aluminum, so that means that it's a little bit more durable than something that would be multiple pieces of aluminum all put together. And again, this one is the Arctic White edition, so it's got woven glass fibers on the palm rests, which give it its really, really nice silky feel whenever you're resting your palms on the palm rest. It also keeps it at a really low weight, so it's about 2.9 pounds, and the thinness on this is 7 to 13 millimeters thin. Now with that glass fiber, I was worried that maybe it would stain or yellow over time. They say that it does not yellow over time. And if you do mark this up with like a pen, or if you get lotion or oils or dirt from your hands on it over time, you can actually use an eraser to get rid of that. And I have done this, I have tested it, and it totally works. So I'm really happy to know that like you can easily wipe things off and it doesn't end up staining. The packaging that these come in is also newly designed, which I thought was really cool. It's 100% recyclable white bamboo trays. So after you take your machine out, if you don't intend to resell it down the line, you can totally recycle the box, which is so cool. And I really appreciate that Dell is doing that for our environment. When you open the lid on the XPS 13 2-in-1, there are new sensor triggers, so it immediately powers up right after you start start lifting. Now, to discuss the screen on here a little bit, you will notice that it's really bright. The blacks are very, very dark. It is a beautiful full HD plus screen. This is 1920 by 1200. This is a 13.4 inch Infinity Edge touch display, so you can use this as a touchscreen. The aspect ratio is 16 by 10, and it does have an 84.9% screen to body ratio, so that has increased a little bit. The 16 by 10 aspect ratio is 7% larger than before, and it also has 500 nit brightness, which is extremely bright. And it also has 100% sRGB color gamut, so you get really beautiful colors like I had mentioned with those bright blues that you can see here. And lastly, this thing has eye safe technology built in, so you're probably questioning what the heck is eye safe technology? So I'm going to read this from the site because I don't want to get it wrong. The eye safe display intelligently manages light energy at the source, selectively reducing harmful blue light and dispersing it across the light spectrum. The unique solution combines RGB hardware and software adjustments to more effectively protect against blue light while maintaining vivid color integrity. Dell is the first to offer this integrated solution. So I actually got to test the eye safe technology when Dell had a press event here in San Francisco a while back. And I thought it was really amazing how you don't see a difference between an older machine that has, all the colors and a new one with eye safe technology. You would think that it would get super yellow like your phone does at night if you have night mode turned on. But due to the fact that it emits that blue light across the spectrum, across the monitor is the way I think of it, you don't see a difference in the color gamut, which is really nice, so you still get all those nice vibrant colors. But it's not going to end up hurting your eyeballs over time. The viewing angles of the screen are 170 degrees, and it does stay really nice and bright no matter what degrees you are looking at it from. You will notice that the bezels on here are teeny tiny. It's really top quality, and I love the fact that they have these teeny tiny bezels. Even along the bottom, the bezels are really narrow. Back in the day, the XPS 13 had a webcam down at the bottom. We called it the nose cam, but now they have moved it up to the top, and now it's a 2.25 millimeter webcam. So you don't lose the quality of the webcam, but Dell has redesigned the webcam to actually fit at the top, so you don't get nose cam, but you still get all that beautiful quality and those teeny tiny bezels. I love this new intuitive look. It is gorgeous. Now, I did want to mention the Active Pen right here too. This is an additional Dell accessory that you can purchase. It automatically magnetically attaches to the side of the XPS 13, which is really cool. The magnet is very strong and it keeps it in place. Now, I love that even though this is touchscreen, it also works with the pen. So you can do on-screen notes, for example. You can write things on a sticky pad. You can click around with it and click into different applications. So normal things that you would do with the pen, and it is also very sensitive. So if you press down really hard and you're writing something, your font will be much thicker, it'll be much bolder. If you are really light with the pen, it'll be a much thinner line if you are drawing. This pen in particular is the Dell PN579X Active Pen. In case you are interested, I will put that link below in the show notes. So this packs in 2.5 times more performance, even though it is 8% thinner than the previous 2-in-1. It is the first to market with Intel's 10th gen Ice Lake CPU and Iris graphics. So again, this one has the 10th gen i7, 16 gigs of RAM, a 512 gig NVMe SSD, which you can upgrade to during checkout, and a 52 watt hour battery. So let's discuss that battery. It's a 52 watt hour, which is pretty norm for laptops. This size of laptop, that's pretty large for this size. However, it lasts 16 hours, and it really does last 16 hours. Now that is with the brightness turned down, with certain things turned off. Normally, if I'm watching Netflix all day, or if I'm using this thing constantly for a heavier load, I will get somewhere around 8, 9 to 10 hours with this, which is a full day at least on this charge, and that is with full brightness. So does this thing pack in a good battery? Absolutely. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are built into this machine as well. And it also has this newly developed twin fan vapor cooling chamber. So this allows it to stay very cool even though it's not fanless. And it also stays really quiet since both of those fans have been redesigned. So they're very, very thin, they're very fast. They keep things running really, really steadily. And you don't hear the fans when you're using this, even if you're using it with a high workload. You'll find a few ports on here, but not a lot. There is a micro SD card reader on one side, which is awesome. I really like that they included that. As somebody who does a lot of creative content, finding even a micro SD card reader on a teeny tiny thin laptop is awesome. So thank you, Dell. There's also a USB-C jack on one side. There's another USB-C jack on the other side, along with a headphone jack. Both of those are Thunderbolt 3, and you can charge from either of those since it does come with a compatible USB-C charger. There are dual speakers underneath the keyboard on both sides. I would say with the speakers, they are decent. They're laptop speakers, nothing to write home about. They get okay loud, not very much. The bass on here is lacking. The vocals are very, very clear, so it's good for podcasts, but otherwise use your bassy headphones if you're a bass head like me. I really like the touchpad. It's a precision touchpad and it is glass. It's one full button and it feels very, very smooth. It's a good size and it works with multi-finger gestures, so I really enjoyed using that. The keyboard is a second generation edge-to-edge maglev keyboard, which Dell has created. I love that it goes from edge to edge. I think that's really awesome and it's a beautiful design. There's also a fingerprint reader built into the power button along with Windows Hello for security, and it has 3 backlighting levels. Now, if you look at this video that I made, it does look uneven as far as the backlighting goes during the day, but at night, it definitely fills in the gap, so it's really easy to see all the keys at night. And the keyboard does have 0.7 millimeters of travel. It's comfortable to use. I like the clicky feel of the travel, however, it is quite quiet. And it does have good tactile feedback. It requires very light pressure, but just enough to give you that nice tactile feedback. Now, I did want to give you a keyboard sound test so you can compare this to my review of, say, the Pixelbook Go and see how this quietness compares to that one. Now, you may be wondering if it is user upgradable. Unfortunately, it is not. I did try to take off the backing on here with my iFixit toolkit. It was very hard to do so, and there wasn't much under there that you could upgrade. So even though I mostly use this in laptop mode, I did want to mention using it as a tablet or intent mode as well. When you turn it into one of those modes, you can either access Windows 10 as full Windows 10 and just use it as a touchpad, so you can say no if it asks you, do you want to switch to tablet mode? Alternatively, you can click yes and go into tablet mode and just have it ask you every time. I would recommend tablet mode if you are watching movies or videos on a plane, for example. This is small enough that it'll fit on the back tray on a travel seat just fine, and it's really easy to use too. And intent mode, it's very easy to see it from different angles as well. I appreciate that it flips really quickly, so it's really easy to flip back and forth. And since it is lightweight, it is very, very easy to hold in your hands. It definitely makes sense to use it in tablet mode whenever you are switching over to this and you have the keyboard on the back. Now, unfortunately, the keyboard does not flatten itself whenever you slide this into tablet mode, but they're not very noticeable and everything gets disabled whenever you are holding this in tablet mode. So you don't have to worry about accidentally touching anything back here. You can click as much as you want. It's not going to do anything on the screen. I also appreciate that when you have it in tablet mode, both of the speakers are facing you, and there's just enough lip there on the edges that the sound is not muffled by the screen, which is also a very, very nice design option. So I think that Dell did a really good job with making this 2-in-1 very intuitive. Now, if you flip it back into laptop mode, you can go back into regular laptop mode just like that. It's very simple, really intuitive, and very easy to use. So, would I recommend the Dell XPS 13 2-in-1? Now you can get a regular Dell XPS 13 laptop without the 2-in-1 model if you want to. If it saves you some bucks, you might want to go with that option instead. If you're more interested in something that you can use for lots of entertainment, then I highly recommend getting a Dell XPS 13 2-in-1. The new model is beautiful. The inexpensive one at $999 plus tax makes it a little bit over $1,000. That's definitely a good option if you are looking for something that's in that budget. It does get very, very pricey when you get to the higher levels of storage and of RAM, but you don't necessarily need to go over 16 gigs. So that is everything that I wanted to cover with the Dell XPS 13 2-in-1 2019 edition. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the XPS 13 2-in-1, put them down below in the comments. I would love to answer any questions that you have. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and to this channel if you enjoy this kind of tech content. I try to do really thorough reviews here so that you can see all of the options that you have. I also really like to test things that I would actually use in real life every single day. Since I am a content creator, it's really important to me that I have top of the line quality, really good performance machines to test. Again, my name is Shannon Morse. Thank you so much to my s'mores. I'll see you in the next review. Bye!